Shōen were what are often translated into English as either private estates or manors. They began developing in the 8th century as new regulations regarding land were put into place outside of the original Ritsuryo rules. The Ritsuryo rules were loosely based on the Chinese Junxian Jidu, or equal field system, and I probably butchered that pronunciation. However, in Japan, unlike China, originally reclaimed land could not be cultivated. In the 8th century, laws were passed to promote reclaiming wasteland by allowing people to cultivate land they reclaimed, and under certain circumstances, possibly going back as far as their grandparents reclaimed. This allowed those with the means to reclaim wasteland, usually courtiers and religious institutions, to increase their landholdings and income. Another law passed in the 8th century allowed these reclaimed lands to be held and cultivated in perpetuity by later generations of the one who originally reclaimed them. The process of the development of the Shōen is beyond the scope of this video, but by the mid-Heian period, Shōen were exempt from certain taxes to the imperial government. In addition, the proprietor was allowed to internally administer their Shōen with almost full autonomy. This was the general state of the Shōen at what is generally considered their height. Again, it was far more complex, but in general. They were private landholdings, some of them extremely substantial, through various methods, which were exempt from some of the government taxes and were largely left to be administered autonomously outside of the jurisdiction of the imperial government. There is an argument that the power and influence of the Shōen began to erode with the injections of warriors into their administration, but even if it began then, it was a slow erosion that took centuries, and when the Shōen became essentially irrelevant is something debated in the field of Japanese history. I feel compelled to say something again that I have been saying more often lately, it seems. Shōen are far more complex subject than I have gone into in this short video. My only goal was to provide a basic idea of what they were. In that, I hope I have succeeded by helped anyone who may have been confused as to what it meant in the very general broad sense. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video. I appreciate you giving me your time. Please check out the playlist for other videos on kanji and vocabulary words by myself and Anthony Cummings. Until next time, otsukaresama deshita.